So this week's quick tip is all about alignment. So I've played with a few golfers recently. I see them on the course and they're not quite aiming properly, which is 101 of golf. So I'm going to talk you through how you can practice this, how you can use alignment sticks to help, and then also a few tips from the course to help you out. So you would have heard me before talk about setting up a practice station. For me, a couple of alignment sticks are perfect. So I'm going to get behind the ball, look at my target line, so ball to the flag out there. I'm going to place one stick on the outside of the ball. So we're going to get it in here. Alright, that's my target line, ball to target line. And I'm going to take another alignment stick and match it up parallel left. So right about here, somewhere close to your feet line. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to practice making sure our feet, knees, hips, torso, shoulders are all parallel to this target line, to this line here, and it's going to put us in a really nice alignment spot. Now there has been some players historically who maybe line up a little bit open, but generally that's okay as long as this upper half is very, very matched up, parallel with these lines. So set up an alignment station, get comfortable visually with how that looks, and hit a bunch of balls getting used to that setup. Alright, some tips when you're on course and how to make sure your alignment is good on the course and not just on the range when we have the sticks. Obviously we can't use sticks on the course. One, you can't use training aids, and two, it'd be really annoying to play with someone laying down sticks every hole. But what we can do is, a couple things we can look at is, first one is, I like people, they get lined up better when they're behind the ball. So come behind the ball, look at your ball to target line, and perhaps on the ground, maybe a few feet in front of the ball, you will find like a leaf or an old tee or a divot or something that you can line the face up with. So really pay attention to that spot. Get the face lined up with that mark on the ground, whatever you pick out that's on your target line. Get the face set and then get the body in there parallel, or however you're setting up for this shot, maybe a little open for a fade or something like that. But work on getting parallel once you've set the face. We don't want to get in there with our body, look up at the target and then put the club down, because then, you know, maybe our face is pointing right, it feels a little funny, you make a swing anyway, it's a disaster. So really focus on getting that face lined up with your target line, set up parallel, and then give it a rip. So some of the things that I see on the course is like, perhaps my flag's here, people don't aim correctly, they get their body lined up too far right. They aim right, their eyes look up and see the target, and it can cause a lot of issues in the swing. So say I'm aiming right, my brain knows my target's more left, and what happens, you compensate, you start coming over the top a little bit, maybe you don't transfer your weight well enough because you're trying to get this club face and ball towards your target, you get over this way. So it's so important to make sure that alignment's really good. It can get you off on the right foot, and it's something we can train and have the same every time, something we can have a lot of control over. Additionally to that, another thing you can look at when you're setting up a station like this is perhaps another stick in the middle for ball position. So you know, have something there as a reference point to make sure our ball position is in the correct place. For me, I like kind of pitching wedge in the middle and then going a little bit, half a ball up each time, up to kind of driver. Just make sure our ball position is good, so we can add that as a third stick. But some good tips there for alignment. One other little tip for this week when you're on the course is, when you have a hole like this, when we have some water on the right, a little bit of trouble, you can adjust where you tee up the ball. So just to help us give a slightly better angle off the tee. So what we can do is we can take our ball, so there's trouble down the right, so what I can do here, when I'm teeing up, I want to place the ball a little further to the right side of the tee a little bit, just to change that angle, so I'm hitting a little bit more away from the water. So I don't feel like I'm setting up and looking out there as much. I can change my angle a little bit down the left side, hit away from trouble. So for example, water on the right, tee up on the right and aim a little more left and hit that shot. If you had a hole where there's water on the left, obviously we'll tee up a little bit more on the left and aim a little more right. So just kind of give yourself a little angle away from the trouble. So kind of pay attention to that. Pick what side of the tee to tee your ball up. This hole, water right. I'm going to tee up on the right and hit a little more away from the water. And just ensuring that ball doesn't get wet.